I miss her smile, and I miss her blue eyes, and I just miss her and just everything.
It's been more than a dozen agonizing years for Trista Reynolds. Her 20-month-old daughter, Ayla Bell, disappeared under mysterious circumstances from her dad's house in Waterville, Maine. Her body never found.
A part of me always wonders if she was yelling out for me and wondering why I wasn't there to save and protect her like I was supposed to. So no, it haunts me every day.
Someone knows something, but no one's talking. Trista finally took matters into her own hands, pushing to have Ayla declared dead. A Cumberland County judge did just that 6 years after the disappearance.
When I heard the judge's final decision, I kind of lost it, broke down. I mean, I was expecting him to say yes to what we were trying, but a part of me also thought that maybe he wasn't gonna declare Ayla dead, and then when he did, it kind of like really hit hard, and it made it all real for me.
Ayla had to be declared dead in order for Trista to take the next step. A year later, Trista filed a wrongful death lawsuit against Ayla's father, Justin DePietro, his mother, and his sister, who were all in the house that terrible night. The suit claims someone attempted to clean up the blood before investigators arrived. Almost a decade after Ayla went missing, you can still hear the pain and anguish in Trista's voice.
For 7 years, I've asked myself, who would want to hurt such an innocent little girl that was filled with so much spunk?
Adorable Ayla Bell Reynolds was a surprise pregnancy for Trista and then boyfriend Justin DePietro.
He said, well, let's put her up for adoption. I said, you're absolutely crazy. I will not do that.
Trista was a loving mom, but shortly after Ayla's first birthday, she relapsed into drug use and entered rehab. Ayla was staying with her aunt, Trista's sister. That is, until Justin and his mother convinced a Maine Department of Health and Human Services worker that they were supposed to have legal custody of Ayla. Justin showed up at the aunt's house with a police officer to take the little girl away.
That night, when the officers brought her down, I told that officer straight out, I said, she's going to flip out. She's going to flip out because she does not want to go with him. He is abusive to her.
Trista and her father, Ronald Reynolds, were both worried about Ayla living with Justin, both claiming the toddler would return from visits with mysterious injuries, which is consistent with what DHS found in its investigation.
She had bruises like going up her leg, and you know, I said, what's this, Justin? And he was like, oh, she was playing at Chuck E. Cheese in a ball pit and some little kid was kicking her. Problem was, there was no ball pit at Chuck E. Cheese.
The night Justin showed up to take Ayla away, she had the very reaction her grandfather predicted. A Lewiston, Maine police officer was there. His official report described what must have been a heart-wrenching moment. Ayla was in the kitchen laughing, playing, and attempting to make conversation with Officer Weaver. Then, the officer had Justin come to the apartment door. When Ayla saw Justin, she immediately broke down crying and attempted to flee through the kitchen. Ayla continued to cry uncontrollably as the officer picked up Ayla and handed her over to Justin. Trista immediately checked herself out of rehab and began to fight to get her daughter back, to no avail.
I said, Justin, why aren't you bringing her to me? Why won't you let me see her? And he just said, you're never going to see her again.
Terrifying words for a mother to hear, but it only amplified when Ayla suffered a broken arm. Justin claimed that he was carrying her in the rain at night when he tripped and fell on top of her. When Trista called to check on Ayla, she says once again, Justin dodged her.
He said, well, she's watching Home Alone right now. And I said, really? And you're not going to let me talk to her? And he never did. And then that was it.
Trista would never speak to or see her daughter Ayla again.
I got on the phone, and it was my dad. And he was in tears, and I said, Dad, what's going on? What's wrong? The police are here, and Ayla's missing. Nobody knows where she is.
According to the Maine State Police, Justin put Ayla in her bed around 8 o'clock the night before, and when he went to check on her the next morning, her bed was empty.
Obviously, when a toddler wanders off, we obviously start searching, starting from the place where she was last seen, and in this place, it was their home. and that search got wider and wider.
As police and divers comb every inch of Waterville, investigators questioned everyone who was in the house that night: Justin, his sister, his mother, and his then girlfriend. They all claimed Ayla was abducted. Meanwhile, investigators say the little girl's blood was found on items including her slippers, her car seat, and one of her dolls.
We don't think she was abducted. We don't think she wandered off. And we think foul play is involved.
We think it is highly unlikely that Ayla Reynolds will be found alive.
My whole insides, like I felt like my whole heart and just everything in here, just feeling like it was crackling, and it just broke, and I just dropped to the ground. And I told my mom, I said, "It's real, Mom. Like, she's dead."
Justin, just look me in the eye so I can see her! Justin! What are you doing? I'm guilty, you wouldn't run!
I'll never stop looking for Ayla.
Police have never named a suspect in the case, but they've always suspected foul play, and they've also believed that Justin DiPietro's story doesn't pass the straight face test.
We have said from the very beginning that the three adults inside that home know more than they've told us.
2 years after Ayla's disappearance, Justin was in court on an unrelated domestic assault charge. Seems a Portland cop saw him grab and push his ex-girlfriend in public. That case was eventually dismissed.
Tell me what happened to my daughter!
Trista seized the opportunity to face the father of her missing child head-on outside the courthouse, her rage exploding for all to see.
Justin, where she is? Justin, just look me in the eye so I can see her! Justin! What are you doing? I'm guilty, you wouldn't run!
Ayla's grandfather, Ronald Reynolds, is boiling over. He's convinced Ayla was murdered. In several published reports, he claims the motive was money.
3 days before she went missing, he took out an insurance policy out on her, $10,000.
In recent years, Justin DiPietro moved from Maine to Los Angeles. It was there that he told us,
I can't get into exact details with you guys. I don't think it ever feels good for anybody to be accused of something they didn't do. I've never done anything wrong to anybody to, do any of this, and I know for sure my daughter hasn't either.
back when Trista had filed the wrongful death lawsuit against Justin, his mother and sister, the young mother held a press conference expressing her deepest emotions, saying, "Justin, I promise you, wherever you are, one day you will have to face me and tell me the truth of what really happened to Ayla. You can't hide from this forever." The wrongful death lawsuit was settled through mediation just this year. Does that settlement constitute justice for this grieving mother? We may never know, because we reached out to all parties and were told the civil matter has been resolved. In the meantime, Trista only has her memories of a little girl lost.
I have my 5-year-old tell me that he plays with her in his dreams, and she's got these beautiful wings, and they're always playing in a garden with other little people with wings. It tells me right there that she's in heaven, that she's looking down and she's watching us.